What's up, everybody? Dan Sports News here, bringing you the 20th episode of the Dansportsnews and Friends podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Dansportsnews and Instagram at I am Dansportsnews to catch my latest interviews and news in sports. Today's guest is former NBA champion Chucky Brown, who is currently coaching in high school basketball. Check it out. How old were you when you first started playing basketball?
I was I used to play on the playground when I was in New York. So we used to play, I probably was about 8 or 9 when I started playing, just on the playground, just having fun. But I wasn't until I wasn't until I was about 14 or 15 until I got playing organized basketball, because I got cut my freshman year of high school for the freshman team.
So when did you realize you could play basketball at the next level?
I think it was when I went to the Olympic trials, when I got invited to the Olympic trials. And I went there and I made the first cut, and I was like, well, damn, I got to play with these guys, So there's a lot of guys you watched on television, and you didn't realize that they watched you too. But I think that the Olympic trials was when I thought, like, you know what, I can do this. I can do this.
Now, coming out of high school, what other offers did you have besides NC State?
I had offers. I committed kind of early, but I had other offers coming in. Carolina, Duke, West Virginia, DePaul, Maryland. So those were the other offers coming in after I decided that I was going to commit to go to NC State.
So why did you choose NC State?
Because I liked Coach Albano. And I thought he was a guy that I'd love to play for, and so I chose NC State.
Right, and that team, NC State, had a few stars. Charles Shackelford, Chris Washburn was pretty good in college, Nate McMillan, Vinny Del Negro. What was it like playing with all those guys in college?
Oh, it was great. It was easy. It was kind of easy to play with guys like that because they knew how to play. So it's easy to play with guys like that.
Now, you're playing at NC State. That's the ACC, one of the toughest conferences in the nation. What's it like always playing against Duke and North Carolina and all those other big schools?
Oh, it was great. The competition was great. It made you or helped you see where your game was. So, I mean, it was great. It was a lot of fun. School, Carolina State and Duke are pretty close, Wake Forest. So we actually saw those guys a lot anyway. So, but it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Right, and I know Maryland also had a pretty good program back then with a guy by the name of...
Maryland.
Yes, with a guy
by... Maryland had a great program. It was great playing. Back when I was a freshman, Len Bias was a senior. So it was great playing against him in that Maryland, those Maryland teams.
Right, I was going to ask you, how good was Len Bias, and do you really think that he was the next Michael Jordan, or could have been as good as Michael Jordan?
I think he could have been as good, maybe better, because the one thing about Len Bias that people didn't know is that Len Bias could really shoot the ball. When Jordan came out, I don't think Jordan was as good a shooter. Jordan became a better shooter as he played in the pros, but Len Bias was already a good shooter. So I think he could have possibly been better.
Now, back to you. Coming out of college, did you expect to get drafted? What were you hearing from the scouts and all that stuff?
Yeah, I was expecting to get drafted. I was expecting to get drafted a little higher than what I did, but everything worked out. But I was hearing, I wasn't hearing much from the scouts really, because I didn't have an agent. a lot of guys, they get an agent before they get drafted. I didn't have an agent, so it's kind of just me and my family doing it. So I didn't really hear a whole lot.
Now, you get drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. What was it like playing in Cleveland with guys like Steve Kerr and Mark Price, some pretty good shooters, and a guy like Larry Nance?
Oh, it was great. It was great. Larry Nance was great. He kind of took me under his wing and kind of showed me what it was like to be a pro. So, it was great playing with Mark Price. We had a lot of ACC guys. So we had, Brad Daugherty from the ACC, Larry Nance, myself, from the ACC. So we used to talk a lot of ACC junk. So, but it was great playing with those guys. Tree Rollins was also on that team. He played in the ACC as well. So, but it was great, man. I had a great time. Like I said, Larry kind of took me under his wing and showed me what it was like to be a pro, and I just kind of looked at what he did. He would bring me in early, and I kind of copied what he did, and I would stay after late, come early and stay late. So he would have me come early and stay late, and that stayed with me, and that's probably why I spent as much time as I did in the NBA, is because that's what I did. I came early and stayed late.
Now, once the Cavs waived you, what's going through your head? How do you feel once you're waived by a team?
I didn't feel bad about anything. I actually asked to be released, but I didn't feel bad about anything. I knew through my agent that I would get picked up, so that's why I had asked for my release.
Right, and you get picked up by the Lakers, a team that was in the finals the previous year, but now, just a month earlier, you found out that Magic Johnson retired. So what was the atmosphere like coming to Los Angeles?
It was a little different because Magic had just contracted the HIV thing, and it was a little bit of a sad feeling at first, but as it went on and everyone saw that Magic was going to be okay, I think things picked up, and then Magic would come around a lot, and he was very supportive of the guys, and it was kind of dull at first, but then it just picked up later when everybody saw Magic was going to be okay. I think Magic meant so much to the franchise.
Do you have any memorable moments from being on the Lakers?
All of it's memorable. I'll say probably the most memorable moment, I think when our team decided, when our team just, there comes a point when the team just gels. And I think some gel early, some gel late, some never gel, but we gelled, I think, on the East Coast road trip. I think we played in New York, we played in Cleveland, and we played somewhere else. But it was just, Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta too. But it was just, we just gelled together and, started understanding what each other was going to do, and just played really well together.
What was it like playing with a guy like James Worthy?
Oh, it was great, man, to watch, a guy like that play and to see him at practice every day. It was just awesome. He had a nickname. We used to call him Clever because his moves were clever. So, but it was awesome to play with him and just to see him every day. It was great. I learned a lot from him.
Now, I know you said you grew up a little bit in New York. When you go to the New Jersey Nets, what's it like, kind of like coming home, sort of, when you were on the Nets?
Oh, it was great because I got to see a lot of friends that I grew up with. I remember in the layup line, laying the ball up, and I saw one of my fifth grade classmates, David Mayo. And it was just kind of funny, but I ran into guys all the time that I grew up with. So it was great going back and them seeing me and them, not knowing that it was me, because I had left New York at age 14, 15, I was a teenager when I left, and them not knowing that it was me in the layup line. It was great to see them. It was just fun, man, just to come back to New York.
What was it like playing with guys like Derek Coleman, Bernard King, Kenny Anderson?
Oh, it was great again. Bernard King, one of the best scorers in the NBA in NBA history. Derek Coleman at the time, one of the best young players in the NBA. Kenny Anderson as well, another one, also one of the best young players in the NBA. So it was great to play for a coach like Chuck Daly, who, actually took all of that talent and meshed it together. So it was just great all around, man. It was awesome.
Right. And now you go to the Houston Rockets, and that team is already coming off a championship that they won the previous season. What's it like coming to Houston, the atmosphere all around, and joining that team?
The atmosphere was great. The guys were great. The one thing I loved about Houston is that everyone knew their role, and everyone, stayed within their role. That was the great thing about being there, is that everyone knew their role and stayed within their role. And, it was, a team full of veteran players.
Right. And now I saw an interview with Kenny Smith on Inside the NBA a few years ago. He said that you were actually his favorite teammate of all time.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Well, Kenny and I, we were in college a little bit at the same time. He's a little older than me. So we spent 2 years actually playing against one another. But, I would be in Chapel Hill sometimes visiting friends, and I would run into him in Chapel Hill. And, Kenny's also from New York, so we knew some of the same people. But yeah, Kenny was a great teammate. Obviously my favorite teammate. He and I spent a lot of time together, and shared a lot of stories. And he's just a great guy.
Right. Now, what was it like playing also with Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Robert Horry?
Right. Yeah, Clyde was the best, man. Clyde was probably the most unselfish superstar that I had ever been around. I remember one time we were playing, and Clyde would dribble with his head down, so I didn't think he saw me, and so I kind of stopped short on the play. So he called me over to the side. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Look, I see you, so don't stop." So I was like, "Oh, okay. I didn't think you saw me." He said, "Yeah, I always see you. I got my head down, but I always see you." So from that day on, I never stopped. And Clyde and I had a great chemistry on the pick and roll play. We used to have a play called Step Up that Rudy used to always run with just me and Clyde. And I just saw Clyde. He does some stuff with the big three, and I just saw him. And the first thing when we saw each other, we yelled "Step Up." Because we knew it, because that was our play. So that's just kind of a little thing between us. But playing with Dream was also very unselfish. Just to see his work ethic, you knew why he was as good as he was.
Right, and Sam Cassell and Mario Ellie, who could also make three-pointers, knock down the three-pointers when needed.
Oh yeah, and Sam was also a great teammate, a guy that just didn't care, who was in front of him. He was going to play hard. And Mario just brought our toughness. He brought the toughness that we needed on defense. And we kind of fed off of Mario's energy on the defensive end. I know, Dream got a lot of credit, but yeah, we fed off of Mario's defensive energy, because if you wasn't doing your job, Mario would tell you. And he didn't care who it was. If Dream was supposed to get a block shot, Mario said, "Hey, come on, big fella, you got to get that for me." And Dream would say, "You're right." So, like I said, we all fed off of Mario's energy.
Right. Now, the moment you win the NBA championship, how does that feel, knowing that you're one of the few players to win a championship?
Oh, it was great, man. I mean, it was, you look, I mean, everything flashes before you so quick. The thing that flashes before you so quick is, the tough times during the season and you're stuck with it, so those things stick with you. So, but everything flashes by really quick. But, you just appreciate every minute of it. You appreciate every minute of it.
Right. And now you actually also won a championship. Was it in the Continental Basketball League as well?
Yeah, the CBA. Yep, the CBA.
Right, and you're one of, I think, two other players did that as well?
Yep. No, just myself and Tony Campbell.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Tony Campbell, he's from New Jersey, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, the trade with Charles Barkley, talk about that trade. What is it like being, like you already know that Charles Barkley was a big name player. What's it like when you find
Right.
out that you're a part of that trade?
Oh, it was disappointing because, it's usually the places you love, but then, you realize it's business. So, hey, it is what it is. So, but yeah, it was disappointing to leave Houston, but, it's business. It was disappointing, though, at first. It was disappointing. But, Rudy at least gave us the respect, or gave me the respect, and gave me a call and was like, hey, we had to do this. So I appreciated him telling me that because I've been traded before and not told about the trade. So I appreciated Rudy telling me.
Right. Rudy was one of the more respectable coaches that a lot of players like and appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah, Rudy was definitely one of the more respectable guys, and you appreciated playing for him.
Right. Now, in your time with Phoenix, did you have any idea that this rookie point guard from Santa Clara would be a superstar, Steve Nash?
No, I mean, you saw flashes of him, but you didn't think he would be as good as he came out to be. But you saw flashes. You did see flashes of him in practice and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun playing with him in practice. You know, but no, you didn't think he'd be as good as he was. To answer that question, no, you didn't think so.
What do you think was the biggest thing that he improved on throughout his career?
What do I think the biggest thing was? What now?
That he improved on from when you first saw him to the end of his career. What was the biggest thing that you realized, like, wow, he improved so much from when I first saw him as a rookie?
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
You talking about Steve? I think just probably. I mean, he was always a good decision maker. I think probably his shot improved a whole lot to where you just couldn't leave him. You know. Yeah, I think his shot probably improved because he's always a good decision maker. So it was good to keep the ball in his hands.
Right. And then you go to Milwaukee with another rookie, Ray Allen. Did you realize that Ray was going to be this superstar as well?
I realized Ray was going to be good. I didn't think Ray would be, one of the top 3-point shooters in the game. No, I didn't think that, but I knew Ray was going to be good.
What was Ray like?
I knew he'd be good.
What was Ray like as a rookie? Was he always working out, shooting threes? What was he doing?
Ray was just a hard worker. He was a rookie. He was young, so he was trying to figure his way. But Ray was a hard worker. Ray was a hard worker, man. He was a hard worker. So he was always a hard worker.
Right. Now, when you're on the Sacramento Kings, that was a very interesting season. 61 and 21. I think, in my eyes, they're one of the most underrated teams. Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic. Talk to me about that Game 6 playoff against the Lakers. What do you think went down with that?
Oh, we were definitely robbed. If you want to be honest about it, the guy Tim Donahue came and said some things about it, which we already knew. We were a finesse team, and we had probably, Webb fouled out, maybe Hito fouled out. We might have had three guys foul out. Doug Christian was our toughest defensive player. Now Doug fouled out. Hey, we could see that because Doug was more of an aggressive guy. But just the fouls that weren't called and the things that went on, we feel like we were robbed of that game.
I mean, what was the atmosphere like in the locker room after the game?
After the game, we were okay because we were going back home for Game 7. So we were all right. We were like, okay, well, cool. They got us on this one, so we'll go back home and just have to take care of business. So we weren't like distraught or anything like that. We were okay because we were going back home.
Right. Now, I don't know if you remember the play where Kobe Bryant elbowed Mike Bibby in the face, and there was a ref who was right there.
I remember.
Yeah, there was a ref who was right there, and they didn't call a foul. What do you think happened with that?
I don't know. The referee, sometimes they'll want to keep the star players in the game. I do know that. So maybe it's one of those things. The fans pay to see the stars play. So, unless it's something really, really bad, sometimes those guys get a little leeway. So maybe that was the case where they gave Kobe a little more leeway.
Right. Now, obviously, social media wasn't around back then, but if it was, how do you think that would have affected that game? Because, we have, journalists and other NBA players, tweeting about the games and always giving their 2 cents and their opinion on different things that happen. So, how do you think social media would have affected that game?
How about that? What would have affected that game?
How do you think social media...
Like being today?
Right, in today.
Social media? Oh. Yeah, I think social media, if social media was back then, it would have had a big effect, I think. I think it would have been more outrage about that particular game. But a lot of, the social media people now, they really don't know anything about that particular game. So, but, had they been around back then, I think it would have been much more outrage.
Right. Now, in your career, you also played with Dikembe Mutombo, another great defender. What was it like playing with him?
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Deep was easy to play for. Play with, I should say. You knew that you could make you could take a few gambles on defense, and he'd be there to back you up. So that's the big thing.
Now, you also played with David Robinson, and as we said earlier, Hakeem Olajuwon. So, out of Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon, and David Robinson, all three well-known defenders, great defenders, who do you think was the best out of those three?
The best defender out of those three, man, that's a good question. Oh, man. David was definitely the most athletic. David and Dream, I would say, were the most athletic. I would have to go with Dream because Dream, his timing was a little bit different than those guys. Those guys had good timing, but Dream was a different kind of guy. So I'm gonna go with Dream.
Now, you played under Greg Popovich before he had any NBA titles. What about him was he able to do that helped him become one of the greatest coaches of all time now?
I think the fact that he would get on guys regardless of who they were, I think that helped him. That helps him be who he is. I think that's a big thing with him.
Now, I know you became a scout for the New Orleans Pelicans, Are you still a scout or no?
No. I don't scout anymore. I now coach high school basketball
Right,
here
okay.
in North Carolina.
Right, so how long were you a scout for the Pelicans?
7 years.
Okay. And you also were a coach, assistant coach, and then a head coach with the LA Defenders, the D League team. What was it like
Yeah.
coaching? What was it like coaching those pros, guys who are trying to get to the next level?
Oh, it was great, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. I mean, I just had a lot of fun with it. It was fun. I have nothing but great things to say about it. It was just a lot of fun coaching those guys and having guys. They would listen to what you had to say, and that was great.
So, what would you say is the biggest difference between coaching pros and coaching a high school team?
I would say coaching pros, you can just tell them what to do, and they already know. I think with high school kids, you have to explain things a little more, and it's a little more teaching involved. Whereas the pros, it's you don't have to teach them as much, because they already know. They've already been taught.
Right. Now, back to when you were a scout. Um, you weren't a scout when Zion Williamson was playing with Duke, or no?
No, I wasn't a scout then, no.
So how would you evaluate Zion's game, his style of play, from what you saw when he played at Duke?
I think he's a very good player. Of course, the big thing with him is the conditioning and the weight loss thing. Losing a little bit of weight. He's a very good player. There's no question about that. Very explosive. But I think in order for him to last, he's going to have to get a little lighter. Um, so that's going to be the thing for him, to get a little lighter.
Now, we know he has suffered the injury. Do you think he should sit out for the whole season, even if he is cleared to play?
No, if he's cleared to play, go ahead and play. Go ahead and play. I don't think they're going to the playoffs anyway. So, go ahead and play, get your feet wet, and, see what the NBA game is about. Because he really didn't he really hadn't played any regular season. He played all preseason. So preseason, it's good to play, but it's not what the regular season is going to be like.
Right. Now, I'm sure you've heard of LaMelo Ball, of course. So how would you
Yeah.
evaluate his game? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What do you think he should work on?
I haven't seen him play, so I can't really say what I think he should work on. But I've heard he's, shot the ball really well. So, but I have not seen him play, so I can't really make a comment on his game.
Right. So do you think he should be a lottery pick, based off what you've seen, based off what you know? Do you think he should be a lottery pick?
I like I said, I have not seen him play, so I don't know if he should be a lottery pick or not. Just from what I hear about him, I hear he's a lottery pick. I hear everybody talking, raving about him, but I haven't seen him play, so I can't say whether he would be a lottery pick or not. Just because I haven't seen anything, I got to at least see him. I can't go on hearsay. You know what I'm saying? So I got to at least see him play, and then I can say, all right, yeah, he's good enough.
Yeah, for sure. I understand what you're saying. So you played with the Rockets, and obviously we know this offseason they acquired Russell Westbrook, reuniting him with James Harden. What do you think of the team so far?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really watched a whole lot of the NBA, but I usually watch it after the All-Star break because that's when guys, it seems like they get serious and start playing for positioning. But from what I gather, they've been doing pretty good. They've been a little up and down, but I guess the defense has picked up. But as long as everybody plays their role, they'll be fine. They're pros. So As long as everybody plays their role, they'll be fine.
What do you like about James Harden's game?
Just the fact that he can score. He's a fearless scorer, and it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. You have to game plan for him. And if you don't game plan for him, he'll hurt you. I think you really do need to double him, which people don't, but they need to double him.
Do you think
I do like the fact that he's a fearless scorer.
Do you think he's probably the best scorer in this era so far?
In this era, a player like today's player, I mean, you got a lot of guys. I mean, I ain't talking about like ever in the NBA, because I still think like George Gervin, Adrian Dantley, those guys were incredible scorers. I think that today's game is sort of tailored to offense, so it's a little bit easier to score now. I would say that. So I'm not going to say he's the greatest scorer ever. He might be the best scorer in the NBA today, but not the greatest of all time, not in my opinion, because like I said, the game is tailored today for offensive players with the rules, how you can't touch them and stuff like that, whereas George Gervin and Adrian Dantley had to deal with, the hand checking and all that type stuff. Jordan had to deal with the hand checking. So those guys are also, those guys are great scorers to me because of, or those were like some of the greatest scorers to me because of what they had to go through in order to score.
Right. Now, do you think the Rockets could be a threat to the Clippers and the Lakers?
Oh, yeah. Because they can score. If you can score, you can win. That's the NBA is based on scoring now. You got to score points. Anytime you're scoring 155 points in regulation, the Rockets have done that. You know what I'm saying? So, if you can score, you can win.
Right.
If you can score, you can win. So, they can be a threat to anybody.
Now, I know you played with the Hawks. Trae Young is the big name now with the Hawks. Who does Trae Young, his game, remind you of when you played? Any similarities to anyone?
To Trae Young?
Yes.
Nah, not anybody when I played. Nah, not anybody when I played. He's more of a, I think Steph Curry, he's more of one of them type of guys now. He's one of the new age guys now. He don't remind me of anybody when I played.
Who would you compare Giannis Antetokounmpo's game to?
Giannis?
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Hakeem?
I don't know. He's a little different.
Was his game like Hakeem?
He's a little different. I don't know. Nah, he ain't like Hakeem. Nah, he ain't like Dre. No way. Dre was a little different.
Are there any similarities in their
He
style?
wasn't like that. But between him and Dream?
Yeah.
Nah. Because I think Dream was a better shot blocker. Dream was a better low post player. Giannis probably is more aggressive going to the basket. Dream could actually shoot, but he didn't really shoot. It's a different game. The guys now, everybody got to be able to shoot now, whereas years ago, the big man stayed around the basket. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that anymore. It's a little different.
Right. Now, you played with the Lakers and coached with them in the D-League. What do you think of the team this year with LeBron, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard?
Oh, I think it's been great. I think Dwight Howard is a great pickup. I think the Lakers want to be, they get another shooter, they'll really be in contention for a title. I think they need one more shooter. But I think there will be, a tough out, and they'll be there at the end. It will be there. But I think they need one more shooter to be, a real problem in the West. I think they're already going. Them and the Clippers are already the top two teams, but I think that there's some teams out there that can give them a problem, like Dallas. I think they get one more shooter. Dallas won't be a problem for them. I don't think Denver will be a problem for them, but Dallas and Denver will be problems for them right now.
You talk about the Lakers needing another shooter. Jamal Crawford scored 51 points in the last game of the season last year. He's currently still a free agent. Do the Lakers reach out to Jamal Crawford and bring him on?
I don't know if he fits what they do, how they play. I mean, I don't know. Jamal Crawford's a good player. I don't know. I was thinking more of a spot shooter. Jamal Crawford to put it on the floor. He can spot shoot too. But I don't know. That might be a good pickup, but they might want to go a little younger. They might want to go a little younger and might look at some of these teams or look at the G League or something like that. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll see. It remains to be seen.
Right. And one last question before I let you go. When did you realize it was time to hang up your jersey and call it a career?
Right when I did it. You get tired of it. Not really tired of it, but you just, you realize that, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. And you just walk away. You had a great career. It's no longer your time. So in 2002, that's when I realized it. And I never looked back because I left it all out there on the floor.